Hi guys, we're really fortunate to have you with us, and it's good for you, or good to have you in Australia. So we've got Tim and Yuong from New Zealand, and you've been here for how long now? When did you arrive in our fair country?
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
Yep.
And you guys are foodies, and we've been to a lot of restaurants since Tuesday morning, haven't we? And
It's starting to improve now.
yep. So it didn't start off too well, but we had a good meal today, and it's improved as it's gone along, really, hasn't it? Yeah.
Hopefully people are starting to understand us.
Yeah, I think they are. So, ever since the start of the financial year, we've been talking about garden centres and about how we need to now be starting to see increases in sales. When we first started doing what we're doing now, we had the information that about 1,000 garden centres had closed down in 10 years, and people were horrified when we said that, 1,000 garden centres in 10 years. The information that we've got now is that that over the last 12 months, 1,000 garden centres have closed. And you don't have to think very hard here in Australia or look very far to see garden centres that have closed down, including nurseries, so retailers and wholesalers. Is that the same in New Zealand? Are we seeing that happen?
Well, 1,000's a huge number.
It is. It's a big country.
That's 1,000 in Australia.
Yeah.
Surprising there's any left.
That's what they're saying. So I do, that includes those plant shops that started up during COVID, the indoor plant online shops, all of that sort of thing. There's a lot of markets that aren't happening now, so I guess that includes them. But that's the information that they're saying.
Yep.
And I can quite easily think of 20 without thinking too hard. And I know 20 is a long way from 1,000, but yeah, there's certainly a lot of garden centres closing. So
Yep.
I would say that is same for New Zealand as well. As people, owners get older, there's no next generation take over, but also urban sprawling, so nurseries and,
Yep.
why some of them, why keep going?
Yep.
When you can.
So the land value goes
Exactly.
up, and developers want it, and
Yeah.
and there's no, like you said, there's no one to take over it. So okay, we've worked hard, we've got no superannuation. Let's sell it off, and you can understand that. Now, of course, that sounds terrible, but it does leave opportunity for those who are not closing. And I had a conversation a few weeks ago where a garden centre, a really good garden centre, the owner said to me they had opposition closed not too far away, and they had a customer come in and say, "Oh, well, you're not this other garden centre, are you?" And I said, "What did you say back to him?" "Yeah, no, we're not. We're still open." And the increase should be good for those ones that are left, as long as you're in a right catchment area, as long as you're doing a good offer. Now, the area that you're in at one stage had a lot of garden centres, didn't it? A lot of plant retailers. And I remember the first garden centre that we had, we were in a town that had 5 other garden centres, and we were the smallest garden centre. And then as time went on, we became the largest garden centre, and then we became the only garden centre in the town. And that there's always room for a good garden centre that within a region. And with digital marketing, all that sort of thing, your region can be much bigger than what it was before. So how many garden centres would you have in Kerikeri? How many garden centres, and then we'll ask how many plant sellers.
I would say probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And that includes the big boxes.
The big box store, so we have
Yep.
both Bunnings and Mitre 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you've done it beautifully in the fact that it was quite a small garden centre. Started off a small garden centre, and we'll talk about how it started in a minute. And you've continued to grow, and you are now seen as the most inspirational garden centre in Kerikeri. And it is. We've been to the others, and you have got the most inspirational garden centre in Kerikeri. It will be interesting to watch the next few years to see how it goes. We've just been going through your business plan, and you've got some really exciting stuff planned.
Yeah.
And it will be good to see that continue and develop. It'll be fantastic. Now, back to how it all came into place. Now, Tim, you've got Tui Downs, which is a leading plant producer in New Zealand. But you didn't. You're not a generational garden centre or nursery owner.
No.
You started from scratch. Tell us about how you got started in horticulture.
I didn't like the idea of milking cows, so I ruled that out.
Yep.
And sort of looked at building, but I got a job in a nursery when I was 12, so that sort of kicked it off.
Yep.
Earlier than that, I guess I used to grow things, and little rural school used to have competitions. So from when I was young, and it sort of grew from there, really.
Just out of interest on that, were your parents, did they grow, have a good veggie garden and have a good garden?
My dad was a keen veggie gardener.
Yeah, yeah.
On the flowers, yeah. So, and he was a keen plants person.
Right.
So he used to like rhododendrons, that sort of thing.
Right.
He did work in Duncan and Davies in, I think, the off season for farming, part time.
So
Duncan and Davies, which is
what?
That used to be the biggest nursery in New Zealand.
Right.
Probably in the wrapping season.
Right.
So a little bit of supplementary income, but it wasn't his career or anything.
Right.
So yeah, he was always keen on plants.
Yeah. So from that, when you decided, well, plants are the way I want to go, you started off just selling a few seedlings.
Yep,
Was that
that's
right?
right. Yep.
Yep. So what sort of seedlings?
All the usuals, pansies and that sort of thing in winter, and veggie seedlings. We had one grower we used to do a few cell transplants for, all
Right. Yeah.
hand seeded.
Yep. And so you sold those in markets and at the
Markets and in the local area.
Yep.
3 or 4 garden centres.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So from that, it's grown to the production nursery that you've got today. Now we were across with some of our grow members in February, wasn't it? No, it was February now. When we were across there? Oh, in November. In November. That's right. In November, and it's really impressive and a fantastic area. So, how many acres have you got of plants?
I think we've got around 20 acres, in plants and room to expand.
So, how many plants do you reckon you've got on the ground?
A lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we've never really
we do know it's on the spreadsheet at home, but
A lot.
I'm not sure offhand.
A lot. Yep. Okay. When we were across there in November, Tim got some footage of it, some drone footage, and it's just magnificent. There's a lot of plants there. There is a lot of plants.
He should have counted them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, you'll get the footage, so you'll be able to count them.
I've heard that AI can do it now with drones and AI.
Oh yeah, yep, that'd be great. So, how many work at the? And don't say about half of them. How many are employed at Tui Downs Nursery?
Around we'd have low 20s.
Yep.
Low to mid 20s. Yeah.
Yep.
It includes a truck driver and a few part-timers and
Yep.
office and
Yeah. And you supply plants to most of the North Island?
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. And a little bit to the south.
a little bit to the
occasionally.
South Island. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Fantastic. And of course, the Plant Zone Direct is right next to Toohey Downs, and developed because Toohey Downs was there, I guess. So that was also started off very small. Now, Yung, you talked before that from about the same age, about 13,
Yeah.
you were active in the nursery, and you were active with the plants and in charge of seedlings and
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. You are now managing managing Plant Zone Direct.
Yeah.
So how many staff have you got there?
Well, at the moment, I have about 6 staff,
Mhm.
including myself.
Yeah.
So, it was higher during COVID, but now we're down to 6,
Yep.
and that's been manageable.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're in an area that is a brilliant growing area, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, at one stage it was called the food bowl of New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I think there were a few, Tim, you might know this, a few first crops grown in New Zealand of different things.
Yeah, various things. Tamarillos, I think, early on. Passion fruit, I think
Yeah.
they used to grow. They planted a lot of gum trees for shelter. Used to be a windswept plain, and then trialled various crops. And citrus moved in. Most of them gone now.
Yep.
And now then kiwi fruit. Now there's blueberries and lemons and dragon fruit being trialled, and so
Still
quite
lots
a
of
growing area.
yeah produce being grown there.
Some of the good areas have been taken up by housing,
Yeah.
but there's still
Yeah.
quite a bit of growing.
Yeah. And you find a lot of edibles being sold through the retail?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every now and then I see some pictures of some fairly strange ones that I've never heard of. Where little berries grow on trunks of trees and all sorts of things. So
Yeah.
it's really fascinating. And then occasionally you'll tell me something and I'll think, I've never heard of that. And then when I actually do a Google search, I do know it, but we just call it a different name in
Yeah.
Australia or something like that.
Yeah.
Or you call it a different name over there. I'm not sure which it is. So we've had a focus this year on seeing sales growth, and it really has been it's been an interesting few years. So during COVID there was a peak of 30 to 35% sales growth. COVID finished and sales came down, and the last thing that we wanted was for it to come back under what it was. We didn't want to get to pre-COVID numbers. You guys are certainly well above pre-COVID numbers, and I actually looked at it the other day, and your sales are 54% higher in the last 6 months than they were in the same 6 months in 2019.
Yeah.
So you certainly held on to a great deal of that sales increase that happened during COVID. Now the trick is to continue to see that grow. So as I said there before, barring another disaster across the world, I don't think we're going to see 35% increase. But we really have focused on a lot of different strategies for sales growth, and you have taken it on beautifully. And we were just talking a few minutes ago about identifying the hot spots and making them work for you. Just tell us about how that worked after our visit this time last year. We talked about that, and even before we got to the Auckland airport, you were sending photos through of the new hotspots that had been identified. Tell us about the plants used and what were the results of that.
So first thing first, when Tracy came and visited us, is identifying all these hotspots in the store, because when you work there day in, day out, you tend to forget, where thing goes.
Yeah.
So we have identified a few places, and outside our door, for example, we did a Mandevilla display, which, comparing to what we would sell in the past,
Yes.
yeah, you could see the result.
Yep.
But also, just makes everything shoppable.
So I remember the display that you had, and they were really good plants.
Yeah.
Lots of flowers.
Yeah.
And we checked with you after about a week of the new display, and you said you'd sold 15 or 20 from that display in that time, which was good. And I said to you, how many would you have normally have sold? And you said maybe 2. So, that's the difference, that identifying those hotspots, creating good power displays and excellent signage with them will make, and to use those hotspots will certainly help to achieve that sales growth that we're looking for.
Yeah.
The other thing that I was super impressed with when I was there was the number of customers that actually had trolleys in their hands. So we always, when we go to garden centres, we say, if you want to increase sales, get trolleys in people's hands. So you've got some really obvious spots where the trolleys are.
Yep.
And I don't think I've been in a garden centre where I've seen so many trolleys being used.
Mm.
So that was really good. Now, you are a little bit out of town. How far are you from Kerikeri?
For probably about 15 minutes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. So it is a little bit of a travel to get there. And it's even though you still get to happen, you're not going to get as many people just coming for one punnet.
Yeah.
If they've driven 15 minutes to get to you, they're going to fill up a trolley or 2. So you've got a good average sale. The other thing that you're famous for is the subtropical plants.
Yeah.
So tell us about what sort of subtropical plants you've got, and how that is a point of difference for the business.
So we love plant in general, but subtropical, it's one of our passion.
Yeah.
So we grow, a huge collection of hibiscus, tropical foliage, alocasia, heliconia, a lot of varia, rhododendron.
Yeah.
And as an industry, where we are, of the climate that we enjoy.
Yes.
Sometimes it's about shifting people's perspective to, hey, you can actually grow this. Like, you can actually create a tropical oasis at home. And we grow a lot of hardy variety of subtropical, I guess you could say. So, you can grow them easily in Auckland, and
Yep. And you do get people travel from Auckland.
We do, yep.
Yep. To buy plants, take plants back.
Yeah.
Auckland's how far from you guys?
It's probably about 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. So, and I've got to say the offer is impressive.
Yeah.
And the whole setup of Plant Zone Direct is impressive. So from something that was putting through a few 100,000, really over the last few years, you've had like a 400% increase. And that's only the start of it, because growth leads to growth.
Yeah.
And there's ambitious plans ahead for both Plant Zone Direct and for Tui Downs. And it's just been a pleasure to be working with you guys. And we are looking forward with great anticipation to the future and what it means for you guys in New Zealand. And we're looking forward to doing a lot more work in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.